I have a toothache that is hurting my entire left jaw. And the way I feel right now is also not a contribution to the way I feel currently about Modern Warfare 2. It's just I sound a little irritated because I'm in extraordinary amount of pain. But, you know, whatever, the show must go on, right? So, if you're here hoping for some good news or hoping for some ass kissery for Activision and Call of Duty, then you've come to the wrong channel. Go somewhere where all they talk about is how to unlock weapon camos and all that shit. Because you're not going to find any of that shit here. You're going to find a lot of based opinions and mostly negative on the state that Modern Warfare 2 is currently undergoing. And just so that we get something clear, if you do approve or like what I have to say, make sure to leave a like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you feel the same way I do, make sure you share it to as many people as possible, because what I'm about to say could possibly determine the outcome for the entire future of Modern Warfare 2. So, here we go. What's the current situation that we're going through right now with Modern Warfare? Well, the weapons tuning has been busted up. What else? People have been getting their accounts banned at a mass level. Now, here's the thing. I am guilty of reporting modders, but at the same time, I don't feel I should put myself as that kind of label as guilty. On the contrary, I'm a contributor to the fact that a lot of modders have been removed, although they always somehow seem to find a way to get back in and spread their cancerous BS. But there is a minority of people who have been unjustly banned. Now, what I'm getting with this is that, unfortunately, a lot of these people who didn't deserve to get banned, not only have they been banned from multiplayer, but they've been banned from the game entirely. A lot of people on Twitter, if you actually go and check, have actually said that not only do they not have any more access to the multiplayer, but also they can't play the campaign. Now, how is that possible? I bet you anything that the majority of the people who are saying this right now bought the game digitally. And even if it wasn't the case, let's just say a small portion of those people that say that they've been locked out of playing the game entirely have the physical copy, just like yours truly. I don't believe in digital downloads of something that I can get physical. Now, this should be something that should bother everybody, because this just means that Activision holds the, I guess, supposed rights, even though they have none, to dictate what happens to your purchased goods. That they can literally tell you, we don't want you playing multiplayer. As a matter of fact, stay the hell away away from the game entirely. We don't care if you paid the $70+ or the $100+ for the pre-order. We don't want you playing the game, period. Here's the thing about that. This should piss you guys off. If you're complaining about small things like the aesthetics or the weapons tuning, if you're complaining about small things like being booted out into the lobby, small things like that, then you've only gotten a small part of the picture. The largest part of the picture comes at something that I've mentioned about 7 years ago, how publishers and developers are no longer respecting the gaming community that put their platform where it is right now. The amount of money that they've received over the many decades because it's been decades, for Call of Duty, they no longer respect you as a consumer, as a customer, or even as a person for that matter. You're a commodity. You're a number. You're expendable. You're just another idiot adding to their bank accounts. They no longer see you as anything other than that. That's a fact. How do I know? Because they don't respect anything. They don't respect you. They don't respect me. They don't respect us as a whole. They side with modders. They side with streamers. Shameless, gutless, pussy-ass, skill-less modders and streamers. But yet manage to boot and ban everybody else. This game came broken since day one release. They added an update that at some point actually ended up breaking the game even more. And there's going to be a second update. Have we given way to this mistreatment? Yes, we have. And by we, I mean you guys. I, for one, was excited about the game when I was first announced. I thought 2019 was it. You know, it was the unveiling and curtain close of the franchise. I thought that was it. Cold War comes out. Not a bad game, on the contrary. Still went off the canon from the original Black Ops games. Kind of throws you off a bit, because now Black Ops 3 is obsolete. But no, Black Ops 2 actually, not Black Ops 3. Black Ops 2 is obsolete. But I still gave it a chance. Okay. Vanguard comes out, and I thought to myself, awesome, a World War II story this time. The last time we ever saw a game based on World War II was Call of Duty World War II. Now the problem with that is when they decided to add together the gaming tiles of Modern Warfare, Cold War, Vanguard, and Warzone. The game started screwing up the moment that they started doing that. It started screwing up the moment that they started trying to connect all three variants of the Call of Duty franchise titles. They gummed up the works. They completely destroyed the way that it worked originally. And for a long time, we've all seen the game go downhill from there. Nobody liked Vanguard as much as they would have expected it. It's kind of like Infinity Warfare Part 2, where the game was so badly received that they decided to remaster Modern Warfare 1, where they got the impression that the seller was the Modern Warfare franchise. Because I'm pretty sure everybody got tired with the whole running on walls and fast-paced dodging and high jumps and all that crap, so they decided to make something a little bit more down to earth, literally. Because remember, Infinite Warfare is in space. So they did. They revamped Modern Warfare, and they also, it was the full experience. You had both the campaign and the multiplayer, and the multiplayer was far more successful than the Infinite Warfare multiplayer. Wouldn't really say much about the story. The story is actually pretty good. It's pretty decent for a sci-fi military Call of Duty title. But the multiplayer lacked integrity. It didn't really show much promise, to be honest with you. In my opinion, didn't really show much promise. I played it, and I started noticing things on it that I didn't like. And you can see on my video where I'm talking about gaming trends and bad publisher practices when it comes to the consumer's rights, that I started saying things are only going to get worse after this. And I wasn't wrong. I was completely and totally correct. um, things started going bad. They were denying us of our content, of our rightfully purchased content, which is weapon skins and character bundles that, to me, it's important. Not to you, because most of you live with your parents or you don't really have any other responsibilities, so you got money to burn. To me, it's important that everything that I both earn, unlock, and buy remain in my hands. To me, it's important to know and feel confident with the fact that what I paid for belongs to me, because that's a given. If you buy something, it's your property, it belongs to you, nobody else. Nobody else can tell you what to do with it, nobody else can tell you how to dispose of it, or how to take care of it, or how to put it away. It's your crap. I predicted this a long time ago, and just like that, Modern Warfare 2022 proved me right. I'm not talking just Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, Vanguard, Warzone wise. I'm talking in general. Activision and the Call of Duty franchise have turned into the villains that we fight in the games. They have. They don't really care about player feedback unless you're some sort of big YouTuber, big streamer. They don't care about the community's opinions. Even that one video on YouTube that talks about how Activision actually listened. What a dumbass. Because what he was talking about was only the... What was it? I think it was the weapons camos or the weapon adjustments. Like the, you know... I can't think straight with this toothache. Anyways. There's a lot of things wrong with the game. And it's things that we all as a community need to acknowledge. And yes, I'm excluding the big YouTubers and the big streamers because they don't care. They're monetized. They make money off of playing their games on multiplayer live. With the soon release of Warzone 2, guess what? You can expect more problems. You're going to expect a lot of problems, a lot of injustices, a lot of disagreements, and basically a lot of policies and terms of agreement that are self-violated by the people who wrote them. And I don't mean the lawyers, I mean Activision. These games, when you buy them, you're not buying a house. You're not buying a car. You're not buying a real-life weapon. You're buying a piece of entertainment. Self-indulging, privately used entertainment. One of the things that I highly disagree with are all those fucking pages at the beginning of after loading the game, which is the terms of agreement and the policies. If you read through these things, you'll notice that a lot of the stuff in there make absolutely no sense and really don't have anything to do with the game. It's a bunch of mumbo-jumbo gibberish legalities that even if you know a lawyer, and I mean an honest lawyer, not a fucking ambulance chaser, I mean a real lawyer that believes in Consumer Rights 2.0, even they'll tell you, yeah, no, all the stuff on these terms of agreement and policies, it's all bullshit. It doesn't really have anything to do with the game. But they only add that so that they can use it against anyone who tries to challenge in on it and say, didn't you read the terms and policies? And obviously the customer's going to say no. Well, then the fault's on you because clearly it says here, and then they're going to say a whole bunch of shit that really has no link to anything in the game itself. That's another thing that I highly disagree with, and another reason why I believe that we as a community have allowed Activision to push their BS on us because nobody's challenged them. Not one single person has. I don't know why. You're probably asking yourself, why don't you? Well, because number one, I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have money to burn. I don't have a good economic situation right now, especially in these times, with no thanks to Brandon in office and his regime fucking up the economy. It's even harder for anybody to get any kind of lawyer for anything, which was probably the reason why they have done what they've done. But I can't get a lawyer. And in the state that I live in and in the city that I reside in, you can't find lawyers to represent you when it comes to consumer rights. But if anybody out there within the deeper part of the U.S. or on the East Coast or West Coast of the U.S., if you have lawyers that deal within consumer rights, I suggest that you contact them, that you get all of the data, that you get all of the material needed in order to sue Activision for violation of consumer rights. You all paid a lot of money for this game, including myself, except I didn't buy the digital Vault, Vault Edition, or the Ghost Legacy, or the Cinder, or anything like that. No, I paid for the standard edition of the game, but it was the one with the steelbook. So there's no way that Activision will take that away from me if I don't have internet. I also have the thumbsticks, the thumb button, the thumbsticks for Call of Duty, the one with the 141 insignia. I was one of the lucky few to get the coin, the 141 coin, as well as the calling card. Unfortunately, the calling card can be taken away from me because no internet means no access to your rightfully earned, purchased, or unlocked items. But I got the coin, and I got the thumbsticks, and I got the steelbook. But for everybody else that bought all these things digitally, you're screwed. You're completely screwed. Because like I said before, people are already being locked out of their games. They're being, a minority of them are being unjustly banned. And here's the thing about that. It should piss you off. Like I said before, it should definitely piss you guys off because it's your game. It's our game. We paid for it. Not Activision, not its employees, not its software engineers, not its designers. We did. We paid for that game. We paid for the content. We paid for everything that is going on within the game itself. Now, if you don't agree with that, then go ahead and continue simping, because it's only a couple hundred of you against thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people out there who are at current times right now unhappy with the trajectory that the game is currently heading. Now, something else that I have a lot of trouble dealing with here is the fact that you only get the full experience if you're connected to the internet. I believe that when it comes to multiplayer, and even the large-scale multiplayer like Invasion and Ground War, here's the thing. I believe that we have a right to access that even offline with bots. Now, the reason why I say that is because thanks to the Invasion variant of the game, it proves that you can play these large-scale maps with bots, and it is insanely possible to do it offline. The game takes about 120 gigabytes of hard drive space. You would think that you would have accessibility to that mode. 120 gigs of memory space. For maps that aren't really that large in comparison to other games that have large-scale maps. Open world, you could say. I don't believe that Activision should reserve the right to withhold those modes from the general public. Because basically, you're paying for the full experience. Therefore, you should own the full experience. If you guys remember, when Modern Warfare 2 Remastered came out, they didn't sell it to us full game. They sold it to us half game. They didn't sell you Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer experience, which was one of the things that made Modern Warfare 2 the game that it's always been remembered to be as, because the multiplayer on Modern Warfare 2 was awesome. Far more memorable than Modern Warfare 1 and even Modern Warfare 3. But they only sold us half the game, which is just a campaign mode, not the Spec Ops or anything, just campaign. How much did we pay for that game digitally? Because they didn't do it in physical format. But how much did we pay for that? We paid for that half of what a full game costs. You see what I'm getting at? A full game, when it comes to like Call of Duty, back then, not now, not anymore, considering the fact that they're already planning on raising the price from 60 to 70. Back then, you would pay your $60 for the game, Call of Duty, and you would get campaign, and you would get multiplayer. If they sold you Modern Warfare 2 Remastered for 30 bucks, then they are literally telling you that you're paying $30 for the multiplayer experience, which in fact they have no right to deprive you of, or limit you for that matter. But Toxic, they can't, because that would mean that they have to create AI that can fight back against you in a competitive way. What do you think campaign is? What do you think campaign is? When it comes to the leveling, you got easy, you got medium, you got normal, and you got hard. You're setting the limit to the AI intelligence on how to complete their missions in a campaign against the user, which is you. It's the same thing. You're gonna tell me that it's something as simple as control, or ground war, or invasion, or domination, or team deathmatch, or headquarters, or sabotage. You're gonna tell me that the AI isn't smart enough to accomplish its mission the way it does on the campaign mode? Come on, get out of here with that BS. Get out of here. We should be able to access all this stuff offline regardless of the situation. It's just the problem is that no one is speaking up against it. You're paying a full game, and all we got was a half-ass made game that is gonna need yet another update coming these few weeks. In a couple of weeks from now, we're gonna have yet another update, and they've already done so much to hurt Modern Warfare that a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter and every other platform out there are really starting to lose faith in this franchise. This game is already dying even before it had a chance to live. That's sad. And the worst part about it is that, guess what? You won't get your money back if you bought it digitally. And you're only going to get partial amount of that money back if you bought it physical. They made fools out of both you and me. More you if you paid for the digital and the Vault Edition. You're a bigger idiot. But if you're like me and you bought the standard edition with the steelbook, then you're smart, but you also got ripped off, like myself. Now, in order for all these things to have a positive change, the one thing that I would request everybody do, if you really want to see Activision change its ways, and in every possible term whatsoever, I mean, like, when it comes to respecting the consumer, when it comes to respecting the gameplay, when it comes to respecting the multiplayer, the only way that you can get Activision to actually pay full attention is by denying them what they expect from us. And you know exactly what I mean by that. That means no longer purchasing Call of Duty points. No longer spending $20 for Call of Duty points for aesthetics and character bundles that don't belong to you in the first place. Wait, what? What do you mean they don't belong to us? Toxic. It's we paid for it, right? Like, it's ours. No, it's not yours. You don't own it. You don't own any aesthetics. You see, you're more than welcome to use them on multiplayer online. No, I could play bots. Ah, but you have to be connected to the internet still. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try it. Try it with 2019 Modern Warfare. Try it with Cold War Black Ops, and try it with Vanguard. Go to your PC, go to your Xbox, go to your PlayStation, disconnect the internet. Either unplug the wire or the Wi-Fi, pop in the disk, and it's going to give you a hard time getting in because it's going to say failure to connect to servers, blah blah blah. Would you prefer to go offline? Just hit yes, and then go to the multiplayer options screen. Go to whatever you like playing the most, you know, whether it's domination or sabotage or team deathmatch or whatever. First of all, you're not going to see any big maps when it comes to Modern Warfare. You're not going to see ground war. The variant of Spec Ops is going to be limited also. And then when you've noticed that, it should be a little bit more of a common sense hit slap to the face that you're not going to see your operator skins and you're not going to see your weapon skins. Meaning what? That they took that from you. You have to be connected to their servers in order for you to access those things that you bought. If that doesn't boil your blood just a couple of degrees up, then I don't know what will. But I sincerely doubt that small problems like weapons tuning and weapon camos should be the issue here, because it shouldn't be. And when it comes to people getting booted off of the middle of a match and into the lobby, or straight out kicking them out all the way into the, not even the option screen of the game, but the title screen of the game, these are just tips of the iceberg, guys. These are just small issues. The big issues lie with all those things that I mentioned a while ago. And they're not going to change because you guys just won't do it. You guys aren't ready. You won't be ready. I'm ready. Ready for what? I'm ready to not put in a single penny onto this game anymore. I'm ready to see awesome bundles and weapon skins where I'll say to myself, nope. No. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to buy it. You know why? Because it's fascist. This is socialism. You pay $20 for character bundles and weapon skins, and you can't use them offline without the permission and supervision of Activision. That is a lot of Asians. You can't do anything with a property you purchased unless it's under Activision's permission or approval. That's fascist. And it's funny coming from a publisher that sells games of war on fascism and terror. Ain't that the oddest thing ever? You play these games to fight fascism and terrorism, yet Activision is no different. Oh man, you shouldn't go like that, man. Don't compare the two. You can't compare Activision with terrorists and fascists. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can. Because maybe they're not sending suicide bombers or knocking down, you know, business towers or beheading people, but they are committing grand theft. They are threatening people with permanent bans. They are denying you of your accessibility to the game. They are committing discrimination and bias. Buy the digital version and unlock the weapons vault of Cinder and the Ghost Legacy Pack and the Ghost Squad with Price, Soap, Farah, and Ghost. You know, do that. And then people that will want to buy it on physical format, you go to a GameStop or your favorite store where you buy games, and you ask the retailer, "Hey, does the physical format come with the Cinder and the Vault Edition stuff?" And they'll tell you straight out, either "I don't know" or "No, we don't sell it like that." But you can always just purchase the Steelbook And if you want extra stuff, there's also the thumbsticks for Call of Duty. You have the one with Ghost's head and the one with the 141 insignia on it. But you want the Vault Edition, but you can't get it because they committed bias and discrimination. You see, they're really desperate into getting people to buy digital so that way it's easier for them to control you. So that way it's easier for them to say, we locked them out digitally because they don't really own the game because they bought it in digital format. Instead of, fuck, we can't really lock these people out because it's a disc and it's physical property. It makes it even harder for them to fight that case. But there's always Consumer Rights 2.0. Like I said, anybody watching, if you live on the East Coast, West Coast, or central parts of the US and you know of any lawyers that represent consumer rights, I suggest you contact him. Show him all the proof of all the videos of all the YouTubers out there that are unhappy with the current state of the game. Show it to him. Show him or her proof that nothing you buy is yours. They should know what Grand Theft means. Hopefully they actually, you know, travel with that fact. Move on with that fact. Use it against Activision. Because these things are just the beginning, guys. They're just the beginning. And I've said this about 6-7 years ago. There's just the beginning. I said these things were going to happen. No one watched. And if you watched, you didn't share it. You didn't explain it to anybody why it's important for people to know. And the best way to kick Activision in the balls and actually have them listen to us is by not putting in a single extra dime. Do not buy into their bullshit. They're gonna make it so fucking sweet the way they did with the Vault Edition. Do not get suckered in. Because the people that were suckered in are now paying the price. They really are. They're paying the price. They got locked out of their games. They got banned from multiplayer. A lot of them have even mentioned the fact that their ghost skins didn't even show up. They didn't arrive. A lot of people have mentioned that the Cinder weapon class wasn't in the vault. A lot of people mentioned on how many who played the beta couldn't access the weapons fully or the character operator skin fully. I mean, these things are gonna happen over and over again because no one's actually willing to put in the sacrifice of not supporting them anymore. If you want to keep playing the game, go ahead, keep playing the game. But don't buy into their lies anymore. Don't buy into their merchandise anymore because it's not yours. And they're going to do to you with these things what they did to everybody with the digital Vault Edition. And they're going to lock you out. And they're going to permaban you. They already started their BS with the whole phone registry thing. Because supposedly, according to their engineers, it would keep modders from entering the game. I guess they really don't know people, do they? That it takes money to buy the software for modding, and a lot of these modders make money through their streams that they don't have to worry about not having a full-fledged phone service and not a prepaid account. Because remember how that was the thing? That you couldn't play the game or sign up to Battle.net unless you had an actual phone service like AT&T and Verizon and shit. But that Boost Mobile and Cricket and all those other ones didn't really count because they were prepaid. You see what I'm getting at? So, I don't know. You guys probably aren't even paying attention. You probably just already got off in the first few minutes of the video. But if you actually made it all the way through, thank you for watching. Please spread the news. I don't know. I've done everything I can. I've preached this to as many ears as possible. And nobody seems to get it. But they're all willing to complain. But they're not willing to accept. And they're also not willing to do. So, I already said I'm going on a bundle weapon skin fast. I'm not purchasing anything anymore. I'm not even going to pay for the first season pass anymore. I'm not going to do any of those things anymore until I actually see some real promise. And the first thing that I want them to do is giving us our right to use our purchase stuff offline and giving us the right to use the full multiplayer experience offline as well, because we paid for everything. You can say whatever you want about Warzone. I don't like Warzone anyways. But when it comes to something that you paid full price for, I'm not. I'm not gonna go along with that. I am not. It's my game. I paid it. Activision and Microsoft have no rights to it. Not whatsoever. But whatever. That's just me. And I already told you where the real problem lies. But if you want to keep complaining about small things like weapon camos and aesthetics and shit like that, then you go ahead and do it, because those are just tiny little problems compared to the big ones. So, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and if you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can hear more of my ramblings of things that most people are too afraid to talk about.